Hello everyone, my name is Rafael Lavila, and this is my case on the Equifax data breach. In 2017, the Equifax breach occurred where hackers took advantage of a vulnerability in Apache Struts, an open source software that Equifax used. There was a warning set to the company was failed to patch on time. Over 147 million Americans had their sensitive personal information exposed. Information exposed included social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and even driver's license numbers. According to our text, this is embezzlement, stated in page 103. Embezzlement is when people are in possession of trust with money or other valued property. This breach became one of the most significant data security incidents, raising serious concerns about the ability of companies to protect consumer information. Slide 2. One of the major legal issues in this case was the failure of Equifax to properly protect consumer data. According to page 117, the term proximate cause is attributed to the failure to patch known vulnerability in the Apache Struts. Proximate causes limits liability to consequences that bear a reasonable relationship to the negligent conduct. Equifax's failure to patch known security vulnerabilities in Apache Struts led to negligence claims. The company failed to fulfill its duties to protect consumers from harm, which means preventing data breaches. The company agreed to a global settlement with the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in 50 U.S. states territories. An amount of $425 million was included to help people affected. Slide 3. The lawsuit. After the breach, thousands of lawsuits were filed against Equifax, which were eventually consolidated into a multi-jurisdiction litigation. The lawsuits accused Equifax of negligence and failure to secure consumer data sufficiently. In addition to these lawsuits, federal agencies, including the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, as well as 50 state attorneys and generals, launched investigations into the company. According to page 136, fraud is a tort based on negligence. As learned while reading the book, there must be causation and damages that were caused by the fraud. If there are no losses, there is no reward. However, in this case, it applies. This resulted in serious legal consequences for Equifax. Here on the right, an Equifax data breach by the number shows what were affected. Stated in page 3 in the textbook by Justinian Institutes, the study of Roman law published in 533 in Constantinople states, the commandments of the law are these: live honorable, harm nobody, and give everyone his due. Slide 4. The breach had devastating consequences for consumers. Many individuals faced a high risk of identity theft and financial fraud. Many people were worried and caused emotional distress knowing that personal data was in the hands of criminals. Equifax's relationships with partners and clients were affected, giving them a bad reputation. The breach also raised long-term concerns, especially since Social Security numbers were exposed, putting victims at risk. According to the Federal Trade Commission, reported 399 cases, 225 cases of identity theft in the United States in 2016. Of that number, 29% involved the use of personal data to commit tax fraud. Credit card fraud was reported 32% of that data, going up 16% since 2015. Slide 5. Legal outcome and settlement. Equifax agreed to a $700 million settlement in 2019, which is considered one of the largest data breach settlements in history. This settlement aimed to reimburse affected consumers in multiple ways. It included providing free credit monitoring and identity theft protection services for affected individuals. Additionally, consumers could apply for cash compensation if they could prove they suffered financial harm from the breach. The settlement also set a legal example showing the importance of corporate responsibility and security in consumer data. My question is, do you think a $700 million settlement was enough to compensate all of the affected consumers? $425 million of the settlement was used to provide free credit monitoring services for affected, with the option for those who already had credit monitoring to receive cash compensation. $175 million was set aside for state and federal regulatory fines, with the remainder going towards legal fees and other costs associated with the settlement process. In conclusion, the Equifax data breach case has big implications for privacy law and data protection. The breach showed the importance of securing consumer data, holding companies accountable for negligence, and ensuring consumers have legal protections when their personal information is compromised. The $700 million settlement showed many businesses to take cybersecurity seriously. Overall, this case highlights how important it is to have robust data security measures in place to protect individuals in an increasingly digital world. These are my works cited. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a nice day.